Hey everybody, Joe Lignor with your tip clip of the week. Well, this past week, hopefully your child brought home their progress report for you to take a look at. And I hope you were satisfied with what you saw, and maybe you weren't satisfied with what you were looking at. I'm sure you asked questions of the kids, why this, why that, if it wasn't what you thought it should be, what they're capable of doing. And I'm sure you got all different reasons for why a grade was not really what it should be. But really, there's only a few reasons why things aren't what they should be. One would be missed assignments, something that we're going to talk about next week, but missed assignments where a child just never got work in. Another is maybe just not studying hard enough, capable, but they're just not doing the work. And then a third reason is one that you're not witness to, but the teacher is. So this last one, I would like you to reach out to your teacher, ask him, how does my child do during this? And what is this? It's that independent time after a lesson is presented that your child is expected to work on his own and prove to the teacher, I get it. I can do it. I can do it. If there's any other reason why you don't get the work, it's something other than I don't understand. This time, this independent time, independent practice time, referred to by teachers, is extremely critical information for the teacher to get from the child. Maybe they have to go back and represent a lesson, which happens many times. Sometimes when I'm teaching and I look out and there's 5 or 6 faces that are looking at me like I have a hat on my head, it's sideways, and there's egg running down my cheeks, I know I have to represent. I have to say it in a different language, in a different way for them to understand. And then when they go back and they can do it, I feel much better. But this independent practice time is absolutely critical information for the teacher to get. They're walking around the room. They're looking at kids working on some kind of writing. They're working in a notebook. They're able to do it, a workbook on a sheet of paper, a handout, something, and they're actively working. I get it. I can do it. I'm okay. And then you have some kids who they pay attention during the lesson. They're not doing anything other than watching the teacher, listening to the teacher. And then when they're left to do their independent work, they fall completely apart. They look at it as a social time, a time for them to fix their pencil case. Their pen's not clicking right, so they have to take it apart. And then when you make your way around to that part of the room and you look, they haven't even started to work yet because 4 or 5 minutes have gone by and they've been doing something else. This independent practice time, it's absolutely critical. And this is where kids, when they fail and they're not doing up to their potential, this is when they're falling down. This is where they need work. This is where they need support. And you have to keep reminding them and pushing them, cajoling them. But they should be able to get this on their own. And if they don't, and they don't come around and get it on their own, then we have to look for other means to support them. So I urge you, reach out to your teacher, your child's teacher. Reach out to them. Ask them, how does my child do in independent practice time? Does he get right to it? Is he able to do the work? Or is he finding every other way he can not to do the work? which hurts him in the long run. Because then, when he's expected to do it for real on a test, some kind of graded assignment, he can't do it. And it just keeps snowballing. The more he begins to play, the more he begins to falter, and he just can't catch up. She just can't catch up. Reach out to your teacher. It's extremely critical. And just say, hey, I just want to know, how does my child do during independent time? Are they focused? Do they get the job done? Are they doing what they're supposed to do? Or are they finding some way to get out of doing it, postponing it, putting it off, playing around? Social time? It could be. But to hear it from the teacher, that would be great firsthand information for you. Again, I can't tell you how important it is. Reach out to your teacher. When we give a lesson, it's I do, I'm presenting. We do together. And then the critical part is you do, where the student has to show on their own during independent time. So ask your teacher, how does my child do during independent time? It'll be some of the best information you can get back on your student at that time in the trimester. Guys, independent work, it's really important. Find out how your kids are doing. Ask your kid's teacher. Have a great week, guys. Super Bowl tonight. Go Chiefs. Go Chiefs. Guys, have a great week. Any questions, comments? You want to reach out to me? jlignor@standrewschool.com. jlignor@standrewschool.com. Have a great week, guys. Peace, love. Bobby Sherman.